This is the One Piece Podcast, episode 905 for the week of Monday, February 9th, 2026. My name is Zach, and on today's show, we have a very special guest. He is the translator for One Piece in Weekly Shonen Jump and Manga Plus. Stephen Paul's with us. How's it going, Stephen?
Hey, going good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. We also have our anime recap host, contributor, and card game collector, Sam Leach.
I don't think I qualify as a collector, but bonjour.
Yes, I'm glad you're speaking your native French. And we have our artist for today's episode, also an Eisner Award nominated author. Every time I say I'm going to write them down: Dragon Racer, Ghost Hog, Mermin, The Littlest Fighter. I'm missing at least one, right? No, none. Okay, we have Joey Weiser here with us. How's it going, Joe?
I mean, there are more books, but that's good enough.
Is it?
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for having me again. And yeah, I'll be drawing the episode image, so I'm sure everyone's enjoyed that so far. I have no idea what it's going to be, but
God, how do you not know you did it and it's there already and everyone sees it?
It's true.
Last but not least, it's been a while. Wano feels like it was only a few months ago, but I've been told that that's not the case. But we have author, and we have. I don't know if you're authoring. To be fair,
no, not planning on it.
Coming right off of Joey. Sorry. We have reporter. I know at Aftermath, and you've been like everywhere. I feel like you were on Kotaku. I don't know if you still do, but Isaiah Colbert, welcome back.
Yeah. Nice to be back. Definitely been keeping up. It's been rough because I've been not keeping up with One Piece. I've been like banking chapters for I feel like weeks at a time. I'll be like, maybe once every 4 weeks, I'll be like, oh, I need to catch up because my friend who like catches up is like, Isaiah, have you read the new chapter? I'm like, oh, I need to do that because you've said that one too many times that we've been hanging out. So that's a sign I should be catching up.
I think 90% of the people that come on the show do that. I feel like most people who come on don't do what we do. They're not crazy. Although we've like really committed to the bit here. I don't think we could get out of it. But for people who don't know you, Isaiah, what have you worked on? Where can people find you, I should say, at the top of the show?
I'm a former Kotaku writer. I used to go by the Otaku of Kotaku back when they were doing more anime and like manga coverage. I was kind of one of the guys who was mostly doing that. Got laid off, I think, in 2023, I want to say. So since then, I've been kind of being the Otaku Without Borders has been my rebranding of all that. So I've been writing for places like Rolling Stone. I've been writing for IGN for a spell, and I'm currently writing for Aftermath. Kind of worker owned user kind of like funded, I guess, or user subscription based kind of website that we do video game stuff, and I mostly do our like anime and like manga coverage and things like that, and we do more industry facing stuff and just general news without all the gloat of like ads and stuff. There is kind of our mantra, so that and no AI shit, and if anything we shit on AI, it's kind of our whole thing. So I've been working there, and also been a contributor over at Gizmodo at the IO9 desk. So lately I've cracked the code, I've cracked the system, and I've been using just writing there as just a weekly thing to be like, hey, I have a backlog of things I've been wanting to read or things I've been like, I need to put my feet to the fire to do that. So I've been like, oh, this week I'll write about this one manga I've been reading, and the next week I'll write about this other manga that I've been reading, and like in the back of my head I'm like, all right, this will make it so that I will have to have read this by that point so I can write about it. So that's currently what I've been doing.
That's also what 90% of our guests say about One Piece when they come on. It's like, I was like 30 chapters behind, but I had to come on your show, so that forced me to do it.
I'm usually better about it, but like One Piece is usually probably one of the last ones I read in the weekly like shonen lineup. I usually maybe start with like Blue Lock or I think what was the other one, or Hima-ten, just something light, and then it's like, all right, here's kind of the meatier thing to get into. Let's save One Piece for last. Is usually this I need to remember 10 years worth of information sometimes at a time to play. All right, what are we getting into?
Yeah, I can't put myself in those shoes. Like I like even Akane Banashi, like, so I was like catching up on a few this week, and I'm like, okay, what was going on? They were having a conversation. This is very confusing, a conversation. But in One Piece, it's like 10 battles happening and the backstory of something that went on for several years. And yeah, I get that. And every time, Isaiah, I see one of your articles coming across my feed, I'm always into it. I saw the one from a few months ago that you had reposted with the Arakawa and the not pseudonyms, but like disguises for all the mangaka, which is something that I've always wanted to be spotlighted, and I'm happy has been. That's just it's my recency bias though with that too. And also that she has there's a new anime series coming out from the Demons of the Underworld, right? Something like that.
Something like that, yeah. It's one that I have a blind spot on, so I look forward to diving into it as an anime only, at least starting out and seeing how it pans out. Because usually, whenever those things happen, I'm like, all right, I've gotten to the anime, and I'm gonna peek ahead in the manga and see whether I want to commit to that or just treat it like other series where I'm just like Demon Slayer. Like I feel like I'm getting the better version of it if I just watch the anime or something like that.
There are a lot of those too. It's Demons of the Shadow Realm, I think. To be fair,
Realm, yeah.
It is a very generic. It sounds like, oh, if I made up an anime title, this is what it would be. Arakawa is the greatest.
Do they get sent to the Shadow Realm?
I don't know.
Oh, they're going all over, back and forth.
So Joey, I know you and I have birthdays in April, right around the same time, and that show comes out. Akana Banashi, I think, is in April. Witch Hat Atelier, which I'm extremely excited about, is in April. Wasn't there a fourth one I mentioned? Anyway, and this one.
Steel Ball Run starts in March, I think.
Oh, well, that doesn't count then. Is it Aries related, I guess?
But but that's going to be a busy month for starting anime.
Yeah,
that's a busy month for me getting paid because I'm like, oh, cool. I get to review all these things from some bills paid.
Yeah, I know. There you go. And it's good stuff, hopefully. I mean, at least I haven't read Arakawa's latest, but all those manga are excellent, I know. So I'm excited to see if they do a good job with those. Before we get started, I'll start with podcast news. Just a few days ago, we interviewed congressional candidate Kat Abu-Ghazaleh on the podcast. Super proud to have that. That's going to be released midweek. It should be out now if you're listening on Patreon, on the Patreon channel, which you could subscribe to. Just $5 a month. You get access to, exclusive and long episodes and alternate art, alternate titles, and for $12 a month we have a sticker of the month crew. That's my pitch in like 30 seconds. I don't know what that was. So check that out. And her interview will be available for everyone this Thursday. Is the current plan. So excited about that. More One Piece politicians who actually understand the political implications of One Piece is kind of the thesis, I think, of that. Not the ones who completely do not understand it. That's the big podcast news. One Piece news. There's one non-sports related story. So we're recording this during the Super Bowl. So we're obviously all very, very big fanatics of football and sports generally, as sure, right? Well, Steven is probably the most. Baseball.
Yeah.
But that's baseball. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I was going to mention is, did you know on March 31st, the Mariners and the Yankees are playing in Seattle? There's going to be a One Piece, the same thing I think that they did last time for One Piece, where it's like a One Piece night at T-Mobile Park there in Seattle.
I see.
You get a commemorative jersey. The jersey looks pretty cool. I would go for just the jersey. Like that's actually good looking merch. You can't always find good looking merch. Thank you, Steven.
They somehow like cutified that like stock Luffy image, made him chibi.
So that one is I'm sure you didn't notice that one's for the Red Sox in Boston on May 12th. They have that one is a little more of an interesting not jersey. What is that, like zip up? I don't know.
Like a bomber jacket style.
Bomber jacket, is that?
Yeah.
They did cheapify Luffy, and it includes a Wally plush, which I assume a Wally named after the wall. That makes sense.
Yes,
yeah.
the green monster.
The green
wall.
monster.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Dressed as time skip Luffy from the Fishman Island outfit, because that's the only outfit people know Luffy in. I have to say, it's cursed. I mean, I still...
they didn't give him scar stitching or anything, so poor attention to detail. Not off to a good start.
Obviously, yeah. We all know Wally, the mascot, stabs himself in the eye in the first inning.
Mm-hmm.
That happens. Don't retcon this. I'm forgetting the I know the Philly Fanatic, but there's the amazing mascot for the hockey team whose name is escaping me. Gritty. When I see
Gritty being punched through the chest in order to make that scar on on Luffy, or
Gritty is you mean the X scar? I thought you meant the one under the eye. But yes, both. It could be pre-time skip Wally. But I just want to
not with that outfit.
Gritty as Luffy, hello Gritty, I feel like would be a different character in One Piece, let's be honest. Who's the most cursed character in One Piece is the question there, which I'll leave open.
You got a choice. Yeah.
And in less sports news, the Heroines, the novel, is getting an anime in July based on the Nami story. I think this is the first time we heard that. July 5th is the date. A new promotional art poster came out, which looks gorgeous because everything out of that looks gorgeous. Any thoughts on that, if anyone?
Back in the day, they used to call these OVAs.
Oh, I guess that is
ONA now.
What, is it airing on TV, though?
I don't know.
Oh,
I honestly don't know.
You said it, and then I'm just like, oh, I actually have no idea. I'll check that one.
But yeah, I've been wondering that too. If it was going to be like a half-hour TV episode, kind of like the fan letter one, right, or what? But
or the Zoro, or was it Zoro, or was it the one shot from before Monsters, the one that the other animation studio did?
Yeah, that was Monsters.
That was that's right.
That was straight to Netflix, right?
I think that was an ONA. This one,
is it Toei?
It has an air date, 11:15 p.m. So that's their time slot too. I think that's the One Piece time slot.
All right.
So
that would explain that.
I don't know if it's Toei, but I mean, it looks completely different. It isn't.
Yeah. It's based on the character designs by the artist who accompanied the novel, which are really nice. They're very, very well designed.
Yes.
They're very attractive looking characters.
Yeah, it's I love seeing One Piece reimagined in a completely different, style and genre. So I'm very excited for this. I have not read Heroines yet either. The novelizations are really a blind spot for me.
Yeah, it's fun. It's cute. And the Nami story is really, I understand, besides just the fact that Nami's in it, like why they would choose that one. It's a good story. And
the Hancock one I heard good things about. Was that from you, Joey?
The Hancock one is very funny. I keep talking that one up because I had to translate it. But that was in the second book, so
you had to. You mean you got to?
I got to. Yeah.
Yes, and you got paid. I hope. That's all. Good. We have to check in here on Viz.
Yeah. Cover the bases.
Yeah, cover our bases. Today, we're going to go through chapter 1173 with these good folks here. We're going to do some piece together. The anime is still off. The name of the chapter, Warrior Generation. Since we're all not watching the Super Bowl, I think we could say we are the greatest warriors of our generation as well. I don't know what that even meant.
I don't know either. I was just going to say...
I halfway through saying that, I'm like, okay, I just got to finish the sentence. Anyway, let's get into the show. This is the manga recap for chapter 1173, Warrior Generation. You could read this chapter and all chapters as soon as they come out at shonenjump.viz.com or mangaplus.shueisha.co.jp. I guess I'll do the cover, which I don't normally, but come on, how could I not? Because this is a reader request from Hoshimiya. Usopp smearing honey on the tip of his nose to lure in rhinoceros beetles. An all-timer, I think we could say.
I don't like this one. I don't like this at all.
Not a fan. Is it
Are there
the
connotations?
pop and a squat?
Is it the connotation?
Pose?
If you were the beetle, would you feel awkward?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
I like the further proof that Chopper is actually a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just turning into a bear. The rhinoceros beetle looks thrilled to be getting this nose honey.
Well, actually, I can explain something that may shed some light on Chopper's presence here. So if you look down at the book next to the honey, there's some real tricky looking Japanese down there. So this would appear, we're written in the alphabet, but this would presumably be what they call a zukang, or like a picture index. So it's a picture book of beetles, I would guess, or insects or something like that. And it looks like it says Hoboshika kabutomushi. And kabutomushi is I guess it's rhinoceros beetles, right? It means helmet bug in Japanese, but those are like, the big ones that the kids catch and make them fight and stuff. But the hoboshika, it's kind of hard to tell for sure, but it kind of sounds like, so hobo would be like mostly or almost, and then shika could be deer. Because if you look at the bug, it looks like he just straight up has antlers coming out of his snout. And so actually, when I was working on it, I was like, oh, should I just call it a stag beetle instead? But then I looked it up and I was like, wait, no, stag beetles are a specific thing. Like they are literally a different type of bug that has a different type of little prong on the face. So I could not use that. But so yeah, the fact that it's basically a deer rhinoceros beetle might explain why Chopper is there too.
There is a picture of.
So is this a fictional?
Oh, no,
species?
Yes, yeah, this is not a real thing. Yeah,
fun.
But you can see on the left page, it looks like there's a deer with antlers.
There's a deer with antlers and a stick with. Oh no, that's not a deer. That must be the rhinoceros beetle getting lured in by a stick of honey
by a nose with honey on it,
or a nose with honey on it.
Yeah,
I was thinking Chopper's face looks like that like caricature that Big Mom, like young Big Mom, was based off of.
I know.
Isn't there like a mascot?
Yeah,
Milky.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? Yes. Also, if Milky still exists, right? Or did it end up?
Yeah. No, totally.
They should use. Have they done this with Chopper?
They did a One Piece collab thing a few years ago when I was in Japan, and I went into one of the stores and got a little like blind box thing, and I got a little Jimbei that's stylized like Peiko-chan, I think is her name.
Yeah, I was trying to think of what the name of the character was, but yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
I looked up Milky One Piece and I got the character Milky.
The reindeer, yeah.
That does also love Chopper, to be fair. So really, there's the connection.
There's layers to this.
Yeah.
Chopper does do that face in that, but I think Oda did a pretty good job bringing that essence in. You're 100% right. It definitely looks like that. That's excellent. So why don't you like this cover story, Stephen?
I would rather not say
Okay.
in public forum.
Okay. Get your mind out of wherever it is.
Yeah, out of the honeypot. I will say I appreciate Usopp bringing his paintball helmet, his headgear, straight from the
I love
paintball
that
course.
Yeah. Is that? Oh, it's the it's the same kind of thing that Chopper has. I don't know what that's called. Like the kind of aviator kind of looking helmet.
Yeah,
right?
the strap helmet. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a cool one. I like that one. I imagine it being colorful because it's Usopp. Let's start. When I saw the first page, thing in Shonen Jump where they preview it, a couple days ahead of time, I'm like, oh, it's a 2-page spread. Because it was a square, and I've never, did they change their? Anyway, Kill Jarl is where we begin, as we see Jarl and his little puny giant forces against the evil forces of evil, who are much larger because they're evil. Everything's aflame as they face off here. You have Evil Dory and Evil Brogy facing off, sword in head, Jarl. Dory, Brogy, what has become? Wait, I have to do an old voice. No, I can't do this right now. Okay, Dory Brogy, what has become of you? He says. Meanwhile, Hyruden and Stanson are running. Thank you, Stephen. Are running toward Oris Castle and the town. They said the name of it, right? It was like Westport.
It's just it's just the Western Village is what they call it.
That is boring. In Wano, we got every port had a really specific name that no one could remember. Western Port, I guess, in LBAF they don't have the same. Anyway,
yeah.
So we all were on pins and needles. I think this was last week, about what is Roronoa Zoro's secret plan that he's really put together, that he's crafted. Obviously, big, galaxy brain theories. I think we all agreed it would be something about cutting something. So Stanson and Hyruden have the same question. Okay, what's the plan? And he's like, first, you have to tell me if it's okay to cut them into pieces. That's the entirety of the plan. I'm pretty sure that's the confirmation there. That's the entirety of the plan. Hyruden says, that's a good question. Good job, Zoro. That brain cell's working. They're all members of the giant pirate crew. So protecting Chief Stanson continues. They finish each other's sentences.
Sandwiches, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Protecting Chief Jarl's life is our top priority, but ideally we don't want to harm vaunted warriors who've earned our respect. Meanwhile, these are just two schmucks, right? We don't know who these...
I don't know what their names are.
Yeah, they're just evil giants. Is that Hyruden and Stanson? And oh no, they've spotted us. Remember, don't get sandwiched. I'm sorry, sentenced.
Yeah, don't finish each other's sandwiches.
Don't finish each other's sandwiches.
My turn.
Yes.
Definitely gonna look at you, Steven, if I fuck up any of these names, because I'm like, oh, it's been a minute, and places and things, nouns, proper nouns. So yeah, we move back to the two nameless goons, who I'm sure will have a Wikipedia page with like paragraphs upon paragraphs of their backstory in a couple chapters from now. They go, so have you boys managed to unite all of giant kind yet? I'm guessing the answer is no. And so they take very kindly to this rage bait. Our two giant friends here, there's a ka-ching moment, and they both just side by side panel. They're very pissed now. Go right ahead, Roronoa. So they're all aboard with Zoro's genius plan that he's been cooking for at least about a week our
very
time.
Funny
to do his thing. So he smirks and says, I hear you, brothers. So he hops off of the
rage baiting is exactly the correct term, because wow, they fall into it immediately. No, don't kill them. Murder them.
No, fuck
they
it.
spoke ill. They spoke kind of ill of us.
We'll send. Do it.
They said we didn't finish our. They said we didn't finish our goal yet. Murder them. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
It is really funny that they're like they're like two giants, and they're like talking to their little chihuahua, like, "Get him, boy, get him."
And so,
relying on the human to do the work.
Zoro hops off his shoulder, and then we see them talking again. Aha, they can't get sandwich. Oh, they can't sandwich you if you're overhead, eh? And then they start laughing. Ga clever. So we see a wild swing. It misses both of them as they kind of split off both different ways. And so they now vocalize their plan so that we know their plan, even though it's pretty obvious from seeing it. Let's flank. Let's flank them from both sides, Stanson. You got it, Hardrin. So as all that's happening, Zoro is like hopping off of everyone's heads like a video game, and they're going, huh? Hops off the last.
When this comes out in the anime, please put some Super Mario
like the
World music. Yep.
And then
he gets a coin or something when he gets up there. Yeah, anyway, go ahead.
What would his symbol even be? Like his coins? Like what would he even be collecting at this point?
drinks?
Swords, yeah, more swords. More swords or just beer.
More swords. He just collects more swords, yeah.
So then they all look up.
If you collect 100, you get an extra life.
Exactly. He gets a new technique that he came up with on the spot. So they all look up. He's above a puny human man. So he then prepares his thing. He says, 3-sword style, secret art, and there's a big shoo. And then he does a little twirl, and it's crossing the 6 paths, and they all go, Gah! And everyone's falling, and because he did a big cool, like, just fighting game attack that knocked out waves of enemies type move. So they say, well done, Roronoa.
Yeah, you can imagine though.
And as all that's happening, he jumps over the heads of, I'm forgetting their names now. I'm gonna
Dory and Progi.
So the
only two we definitely know the name.
We definitely know the names. No. I don't, but everyone else does. So they go.
They're not important.
They go.
No, I'm sorry. That's
as they see Zoro just flying overhead, and they yell, Roronoa! Both got like fire in their eyes. Dory, Brogy, says Zoro as he pulls out both of his swords. He's like slowly falling in between them. And so one of them, I'm gonna assume this is Brody? Who's the one who says, "Whoa, gotta move"? Very smartly.
Oh, that's Zoro, because Zoro needs to get out of the way.
I interpreted that he was not the one saying. I was like, "Oh, is one of them smarter enough to realize what's about to happen is about to happen?"
No,
my mistake. So, my bad.
Is he like using the swords like?
He's attacking the air to shoot himself downward.
That's what I thought. Okay, like it's like a skywalk but with swords because it's Zoro.
Yeah, it's not super
little
clear.
Help from gravity.
So as they both do wild swings, they both miss Zoro, but they both very much hit each other directly into the chest. And everyone's like, oh. And Dory, Brogy were yelling for them, and everyone's yelling for their captains, and they both just cleaved each other's shields and stabbed each other in the chest, but they're both smiling because they just kind of can't really care what happened. Yeah, they love this. Yeah. They live for this.
They live for dying.
Yeah. Well, it is ironic because this is what they were doing before, the Straw Hats met him. But it's pretty gnarly.
Zoro's brilliant plan was surprisingly effective.
Brilliant plan. This just happened to happen.
His brilliant plan was, I'm just going to jump on their heads and then do an attack.
Look, I've been playing a lot of Nintendo.
Super Roronoa brothers, right?
Nice.
Mario
brothers.
He called them brothers. He called them brothers.
Him and Luffy's idea of a plan is just to go in Unga Bunga style.
Yes. We mentioned, I think I mentioned last week how in Wano, Luffy's plan with the sword was to punch them while holding the sword because that's how Luffy would handle a situation. Zoro's face.
Zoro and Luigi Zoro.
I don't like that for some reason.
I get it, Sam. I get it.
Yeah, but Zoro's face on this page is excellent. That's like one of my favorite Zoro faces in a long time on the bottom.
Which one? Oh, the panicked one?
Yeah. I don't know. It's like funny and I don't know. It's
funny because like what else did you expect was gonna happen, Zoro? Like this was your plan. Like they were swinging, you moved, they hit each other. Like,
no, he definitely did not plan this. This is definitely a coincidence. He even like, whoa, gotta move. Oops, I didn't mean to be in this situation. Like he's clearly, this was not. It worked out for him, and he could say it was his plan. He didn't know what the hell he was doing. Anything else on this page, Isaiah?
Also, the crossing the 6 path. This is not even a new move. He did this in Fishman Island, I think, is when
that's what I thought.
He busted that out. Yeah,
I wasn't positive though. And is that Conqueror's hockey? Because everyone on the internet's going to care about whether or not that's Conqueror's hockey. I hear the internet.
It looks like there's some little like bolts of lightning coming off of him.
I think it would count
a little tiny bit.
Yeah, I think that's what that means.
I think also you can tell that this is not a new attack because Oda like crammed it into a small part of a panel in the corner.
Yeah,
rather than
I'm like trying to make out the pose. I'm like trying to. How does this look like in a Muso game?
I was thinking Muso games too because this is the most Muso game specific. Except you get to do it with giants, and that actually sounds like a lot of fun. I don't know if there is a Muso game where you fight giants. There probably
is. They did an Attack on Titan one.
They did? Oh, I didn't
Yes.
even know.
And they do, I guess, I mean, they have like Whitebeard and Big Mom and stuff in those games.
Yeah, they did kind of differentiate them in the fourth
Yeah,
one.
but you're not fighting all giants. Like, you're not fighting
No.
a group of giants.
Right.
It's
No,
like a tiny person.
Yeah. Pirate Warriors 5.
Yeah,
Whenever that comes out.
You know, when they do DLC pack number 10 or whatever. For
That's it.
number 4, yeah.
They haven't done like Ennius Lobby in there fighting like giant marines or
They
anything.
do, yeah. Well, they sometimes they have bigger guys, but they're not like giant sized.
Okay, let's move on from
Anyways,
the Pirate Warrior series, Steven.
Let's go see what Brooke is doing, who
The
was
worm.
infamously missing. Yeah, he's doing the worm. He is pushing himself somehow, probably with his toes. He is
He's doing kegels.
Sure, yeah, he's working his taint in across branch
Why
route
did I
8.
mute at that one
But he doesn't
moment?
have one. Yo.
Oh, what? Well, now I have to think. It's okay. I don't want to look at a skeleton that way.
Yeah. But yeah, he's crawled away, while wrapped up with the arrows, and is pushing himself painstakingly across the tree branch, and he has somehow reached where Gunko is, and he is huffing and wheezing. He sits up, and then he calls her, "Princess Shuri! Is that you, Princess Shuri?" And she reacts and looks at him in silence, but there's definitely a big impact of recognition or of reaction, even though she's not saying anything. And so we know for sure, yes, that whatever Brooke was remembering or imagining, he was right about it. And he takes in her silence, and then he continues, "No, of course not. I know you can't be her, but you look so alike. It reminds me of her. And I couldn't help but check just in case." And still, she is just watching in silence, not reacting. And he says, "But even if you're not the same person, you must be blood relatives, yes? If she were still alive, she'd be nearly 80 years old after all. And she certainly wouldn't recognize me, not in the state I'm in now. But your eyes, your blue hair, your face, your blue hair, your mismatched eyes, the Holy Land, and your love for my music." So, he's obviously put together all of these details.
How did he know that she liked his music? Wasn't she in a completely different place when that was happening?
She told him that she wanted to make him her
Oh,
slave
you're right.
to
You're
write
right.
music. Yeah.
Okay, I thought I caught a big cinema sense here, and I did not.
Yeah, and she's still silent, and Oda like throws in a couple sound effects just so you can hear like the battle raging around them. And he continues, "All of it aligns perfectly, doesn't it, Princess Shuri?" And then we get this big, cool, close up on Brooke as he says, I never wanted to think of you again for the rest of my life. Not the father-killing princess. The life you stole away belonged to the man to whom I owe everything." Which
It's a good thing he's
this one,
dead, so he doesn't have to
Yeah.
think of her for the rest of his life. Sorry, I had to do it.
his second life. Yeah, this one
At the-
actually does, strike home. She kind of has a reaction, and the beating of her heart sound effect in her ears is, rising to a fever pitch. And on the next page, then it hits her. She's like, "Arr!" She really tenses up. There's a battle going on inside of her. And, kind of in her mental, landscape, she sees a familiar sort of a ringed eye staring into her. And it says, "Gunko, is thy memory coming back?" As she's struggling. And it seems like she is perhaps fighting against Imu for control over her body. And suddenly there's a crack and her eyes open up again. And something about them, just because they're not glaring anymore, you can instantly tell, like, this must be.
They're heterochromia again. She's got the two. Yeah, she's got the two different type eyes, which she did not have.
Oh, that's
prior.
right. That's right. When Imu took over, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes, so this is clearly she
has her regular eyes back, her extremely regular eyes.
Yeah. And she says, "Run, Brooke." And she's doing something. She's making a pose, sticking out her butt, in case you didn't notice. And
it's like Egghead all over again.
Yeah, and the optical center of the panel too, so you will see it.
And I want to thank our artist Kirby from last week, the Don't You Hate Pants image we did for last week's episode, which if you haven't checked out, please do. It is like the mantra. I like it now as the mantra of all of the Holy Knights. They just really don't enjoy pants, and that's why. As long as it goes for everyone.
But she's doing some kind of a spiral thing with an arrow, and I don't know exactly how all of her, if she has like multiple arrows or if she just has one very, very long arrow that is like doing all of this stuff. But at any rate, it seems to loosen control of the arrows, because immediately Brooke is like it's like they cut the mummy strips around him, and they're all just falling loose now. And then we see the kids where they are walking alongside the arrow on the branch, and they're like, "What? The rope is wobbling." And there goes Brooke. He is loose. He's just kind of slipped straight through the little package of arrow spools that were holding him tight. He says, "Free at last." And Imu reacts in Gunko's mind, saying, "Gunko, how darest thou?" And she's trying to say something. She's like, "Brooke, and suddenly it's like he's doing the Palpatine lightning to her. She's just like screaming, "Ah!" and tensing up in pain as some more hockey lightning.
I did not notice that her wings were disintegrating in the prior with the Run Brooke, and they still continue to. Because it is an Emu related power, presumably.
Right, yes, you can kind of see it's a visual sign of the level of control.
And they come back though, in full in a sec. Yeah.
So she screams, and then all of a sudden Brooks is like, "Yikes! It tightened up again." And so you see like the little pile of arrows is squeezing shut once again, and then as Zach mentioned, you see the wings appear to be whole again. As he demands of Gunko, "What was that just now? What do you mean run? Don't you realize I came to finish what was started? Who in the world are you?" He screams at her. But we see that it is once again Emu. What do you call Gunkimo? Is that or Emu?
I think Gunkimo is what we.
Yeah, that's a Zachism for sure.
Thank you.
But yeah, she is back to under full control, it seems.
When we used to have the Punk Hazard, the Sanji Chopper Sanji, and
oh god, yeah.
Joey.
Okay, so on the next page, Gunko, possessed by Imu, attacks Brooke, yelling out, "Shut thy mouth! What are thee to Gunko?" In a cool impact panel here. But then we cut away to Usopp, specifically, in Branch Route 8, who is yelling out, "Yes, I'm free!" And he's holding his fist up in the air, saying, "I feel like my mental powers did that," with little mental power stink lines coming off of his wrist. And Jinbei is
mental
wondering
powers
why...
come out of the wrist, by the way, for those keeping score. Yeah.
Yeah. They remind me of Migraine Boy, if anybody knows those old cartoon shorts and comic strip. But Jinbei's wondering why the arrows suddenly went slack. But as we see in the next panel, Robin is still tied up in the thorns, and Nami is attempting to untie her here, saying she's tied up with something else. We've got to get you out. But she says not to worry about her, just save the children. And Jinbei says, the Western village is quite far away. Anjay took off running, and even she might not make it in time, with a little bubble of Anjay. And then my favorite detail of this panel is that we see Usopp in the background testing out his mental powers on a cryptid in the back.
Yes,
I wonder how that's going for him. And then a familiar voice calls off panel here saying, "Oh, Nami!" Maybe Nami Swan or something. I would assume.
That was a Nami Swan. Yeah.
Okay, and that is Sanji.
God, how could you localize that?
It's got a nice heart, which I like. But I assume it's in the Japanese as well.
The heart is what conveys it. Let's be honest.
Has Viz ever used Nami Swan? I know Funimation has sometimes.
No. Yeah. I mean, Funimation or Crunchyroll, like the subs, they'll do whatever with the.
No, even in the dub, they've thrown in a few Nami Swans.
Well, the voice flaps, that makes more sense.
That makes sense.
Because how do you say Nami?
And you can kind of like justify it that it's an English word.
It is.
Yeah.
Chan doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it sounds like a nickname. Sounds like a
English, it's a perfectly reasonable nickname.
But before we see the man who I'm sure is making a little Sanji tornado on his way over to Nami, we cut to further down Branch Route 8 by the Western Village. And Summers is laughing, saying, walk you brats, the goal is just ahead. And all along, we've been seeing these really cool, like, I love the little, like, visions of the cryptid sleeptids off in the background.
Yeah,
they look very cool.
Sorry, Joey. You reminded me though. I wanted to mention the bunny one in the background of the very serious speech Book was making. There's the most.
Oh yeah, I wanted to mention that one too. It's a very Sam and Max looking.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, even I. Yeah.
At first, I was kind of like Life in Hell, and I think Sam and Max is what I'm landed on for that one. But anyway, back here, we say Colin upset, saying, "I bet you're one of the demons that the chief Yarrow was talking about. Well, you're gonna regret it. Elbaf's really strong." And a close up here, which I like the detail here that you can see the transparent thorns because they're invisible. And let's see. So Summers is saying that he knows that they're strong, and that's why they're using them. I hear you're Gaban's son, huh? Shut up. Untie these thorn ropes. And as they're walking along, and we see the thorn dragon in the background there, yeah, let us go, or at least fight us fair and square. But Summers just thinks this is hilarious, but it's too late, kids. Look over there. It's the port and ship. Take a good look at your homeland. It's the last time you'll ever see it. And as they approach, they're like, oh no, I won't get to see mommy and daddy anymore. Help, don't take us away. And Summer's calling over the transponder snail, I assume, saying, hello, Great One, Killingham. I've almost completed the mission. Get a nice look at this Viking ship with a duck head. I like the design of that quite a bit.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
I do like that, like as the phrase like Great One comes up in more contexts, like it does sound more and more just like a cartoon henchman, like hello your evilness, or whatever. Yeah.
I do like those terms like used in a more offhanded way like this. Hello, Great One, you there?
Yeah.
Oh, did you hang up? Oh shit. Did you hang up?
Yeah, Great One, line 3.
Your magnificence. Yeah.
Must have no reception up here. Sam.
So we continue the phone conversation. I want to get out of here as soon as possible. Anything else we need to do? And we've got the parents running after the children. They're arriving behind in the wide shot. Cullen, Ilva, Olav, and Summers is reacting like, "Hey, what are those sleep tids doing? They're supposed to be keeping those giants occupied." And we got the scene of the adults running at the camera, and the voices of the kids saying like, "Mama, it's our parents. Oh, Grandpa." Grandpa Oimo. So Oimo's the grandpa of one of these kids. And this little girl is warning them, look out from up above. It's Nika. And so we got a sleep tid. This would have been a children's drawing of Nika once upon a time. Like Nika, the god of destruction, just like jumping in with a big knife, slamming it into the ground. This Nika's got some peach fuzz.
Nika's using his famous stabbing attack.
A very manly, masculine-looking version of Nika.
Yes, yeah.
It's also interesting to note that, like the figure in the Harley and in all of the art stuff, he has noticeably dark skin. In contrast with the hair, which I feel like Oda has definitely been very consistent about that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if the beard is like because it's like giant kids imagining what a god like Nika is like.
Beards are terrifying,
and they think of grown-ups having beards.
Yes,
more often.
Grown-ups are terrifying.
The kids are kind of reacting with concern about their parents who almost got stabbed, but then the parents are saying, "Oh, you call that Nika? Don't play games with us." And the Nika barely gets to look up before they're all doing a big team up attack on him, and they're like, "We're the warrior generation!" Brah! And the Nika sleep tid goes, "Whoa!" And the kids are all bugging their eyes out, like they're so strong.
The joke I should have made is, does the warrior generation come after the greatest generation and before boomers? Also bad joke. I'm sorry. That's a little bit better because it makes sense.
Where does the jet generation come in here?
Jet generation. Yeah.
Thank you, Stephen.
So now the Nika is more perturbed than anything and is returning the attack with more stabs, just like jabbing into the ground, like like the knife scene in Aliens.
It is very funny,
going like really fast.
It is very funny that I guess this nightmare of Nika, they're just imagining, okay, they just stab, and that is the thing that they do.
Yeah,
it's scary.
Yeah,
which is scary, but not really supernatural.
Nika's like a Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, he just comes.
Yeah, well, he kind of looks like a Muppet too. So just imagine that it's like on the little wire, like going like the way that
he's got the
It's the Nika show.
Yeah. Steven, the anime, they better make the sleep tids all Muppets in the background, like live action looking, or like stop motion-y, like
to get that like effect of it.
Yeah, because they're already they're done with like the watercolor here, which I love. It would be really cool if they just did something very outside the box like that.
I'm glad we're just wish casting impossible things for the anime. That will never happen.
I'm putting it out there so that all of the directors and animators in Japan who are definitely listening to this take notes and do it.
We want Muppets. We've asked patiently the first time. Didn't listen.
All we want are. This propaganda is going to work at some point. We want Muppet One Piece. That's all we want. All we've ever wanted.
Thunderbolt Fantasy One Piece.
Oh, that would go crazy.
Oh, hell yeah.
Sam, sorry.
We finished this spread off with this trio, the new giant pirates, arriving at the scene, saying, "Oh, look over there. That's where the kids are. It's too late, even if we run." And then Gerd and I always forget this guy's name.
Goldberg.
Oh, she says it in the bubble right there. So I could have been could have read 1 second ahead.
Steven, you said ready shit here, but it could have been ready shit pretty easily, I feel like.
Yeah, he was definitely saying ready sit. Ready sit go.
I'm just trying to get some
Here
swears.
we go, Goldberg, ready shit. And then double general. And then Roto is like, wait, no, I can join too. I'm coming to save you, little brother. Triple general. I like how they correct the name of the attack.
No, they didn't correct it. He said it. And they clearly don't want him included. Isn't that what's happening? That's
Goldberg definitely looks annoyed. Yeah.
Goldberg is like, Gerd is just looking badass because Gerd's badass.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Goldberg's like, who the hell invited you? Get the hell out of here.
He is like side-eyeing.
Yeah. And it's like, no, I'm part of this.
Gokoku sovereignty, and then they do the big team up giant. I want to call it a laser blast, but I guess it's just the traveling slashes of One Piece.
Yeah. So is this a number pun? Because the other one's Ikoku sovereignty.
No, it's at least I don't think so. Because we've seen multiple versions of this now. Do you want me to get into this now, or should we just finish the page?
No, let's finish the page.
We're almost done. And then so that blows a hole through the Nika. And Sommers is riding like just a big giant spike club, much bigger than he is. Where he been hiding that this whole time?
He's a thorn powered guy. So I guess it makes sense.
Do you think that's made of his thorns?
His thorns? Is this a euphemism?
I mean, if it's like if he's using his like thorn powers to.
Yeah, maybe it's a balloon and he's just inflating it and then adding the thorns with his powers.
Yeah, with like armament hockey to make it.
He had that sword. He did have that thorn sword. He's probably inflating it, like Steven just said. Yeah. Sorry.
But the Nika just crashes right into the ship, tearing it to shreds.
Oh wait! I just want to get the physics here correct. Does Summers hit the Nika into the ship? That's what I got. So therefore, Summers.
It looks like he's like preparing to, but like it's probably just like much too big of a crash
But there is an impact thing on the top of the hill where he's sitting.
I think that's what happens.
Yeah, and there's like a little
because it also explains his
down the steps that kind of imply that he's like fallen into the other area. That's how I read it.
Well, because he's falling straight into the thorns.
Okay, no, yeah, I think he's hit it and then it's like recoiled backwards into the ship.
Well, because the I'm sorry to skip ahead on your own page, but the reaction,
like his bad aim.
He's like, his
own bad aim.
This should be shit. Sorry, I'm trying to Stan Leach in this.
The ship sinks and Sommers has a great snot-nosed dramatic close-up where he's like, shit.
Yeah, that's what this joke could have been very slightly clearer, I think, and it had like a little bit more punch to it. No pun intended. Because it is a very funny joke, generally, that he F's up his own plan by protecting himself is fun. Because this guy sucks. So it's really great that this is happening to him. Wait until Great One finds out when he calls you on a conference call. Could have been an email, but it's going to be a conference call. Okay. Thoughts on this chapter? We have a chapter next week, right?
Yes.
3 in a row. Isaiah, what about you? What were your thoughts?
I like it in the way that there's a thing that I've just noticed whenever a new thing is coming out soon that's probably going to be referencing like an older thing, like with more specifically in One Piece live action season 2 that's going to be introducing the giants, and how this is like, every manga always, whenever this happens, like, I'm going to really showcase that thing that's about to happen for people who are only watching in this one medium, to be like, and here's for the people who are already caught up to be like, oh yeah, we're being reminded of that, because I know that Dandadan did that, and I know that Spy X Family does that often too. So it's just very cool to be like, all right, you're getting the giants, and for manga it's like, you've had the giants, but like, we're going to kind of showcase more on like why they're cool and like show off like more of their battle stuff. So like, that's always really cool for me. I like just the Brook backstory that just was like, oh, we're getting this like right now. Oh, there's stuff here. There's stuff happening here. Wasn't expecting that in this chapter at all, but yeah.
Any other thoughts?
You
don't have to.
No, I just like it when you can tell when like a creator is like kind of being a little influenced by like my cat just knocking things over. It's fine. You can always kind of tell when
cats are,
he's like laying in my lap as I'm trying to do all this. He's a menace. But you can always kind of tell when like a creator, especially Oda, because he's been so involved with the One Piece live action, where he's like, yeah, he's really thinking about this. So he's been like, all right, we're gonna go pretty in depth on the giant stuff, since he's like overseeing, I assume, the giant stuff happening in the One Piece Netflix live action. So it's really cool to see a creator who's like very much thinking about something and like kind of using it to like talk about it, or like further use that as inspiration in like whatever he's currently working on. So yeah.
I know Yeah, I think I was just going to say the same thing, that we definitely pointed out that like all of a sudden when season 1 was airing or was up on Netflix, that all of a sudden he did like a chapter cover request that was for Kuro from Syrup Village, and it was like
pretty sure he forgot existed.
Yeah, like as soon as that arc was over, he was just like, well, forget. I don't know who that guy was, but.
Well, we had that great Bon Clay one a week or two ago, and he's definitely in season 3 stuff right now. So,
yeah, well, I mean, he's in season 2 because they.
No, I mean, I just mean he's Oda is in season 3, like stuff right now. So he's probably Bon Clay is very prominent. I would assume and hope in season 3. So, very excited for that too. And so. Isaiah, any more thoughts? I want to cut you off.
Very funny visual gag kind of chapter. Enough things to keep the wheels moving, like story wise. I know that One Piece is kind of famous for like we're gonna be here for a while, so it's a lot of just like slow kind of builds for stuff. But it feels like this arc in particular was like a little bit more like faster paced in terms of like the movings and shakings of things going on in a way that doesn't feel like you're kind of sitting on. We're getting backstory that's like not really going anywhere in particular, and like definitely you can feel in this chapter and the last chapter where like the art in particular is like, oh, that like week break that you guys had, like it's really showing off here, was like, oh, this it's always a little bit more clear, like a little bit more legible, I feel like, because part of the reason why I usually kind of wait for One Piece in my like weekly readings is that sometimes, not often, but sometimes it's a little bit harder to get through and kind of discern what is happening because there's always so much happening at once. And if you can really just chalk that up to just the weekly schedule of just there's a lot of things going on that you have to like do and draw in the span of less than a week even to get all of it out. So I do appreciate that the time off is really kind of shown off in the quality of the panels and just kind of the legibility of everything.
Yeah, I think Oda has intended his readers should, be on a podcast and discuss it every week. That's really the only way to experience it. To be fair, like I definitely miss things until we talk about them. Like I missed Usopp using his force powers, which I am ashamed that I missed because that was excellent.
I wish Viz would upload the higher resolution versions.
Yes, Steven. I know that's your fault specifically.
That would help a little bit, I'm sure, and if specifically for One Piece, maybe not even for any other series, but like for One Piece, really could use all the clarity it can get.
I mean,
on the subject of like readability and clarity and clutteredness, I think this is one of the things that I've been really loving Elbaf about, is that with the giants, they take up so much space that like it forces Oda to kind of like pull back a little bit and like let things breathe. And I feel like it's been in general kind of like a lot easier to just kind of enjoy his character drawing, and the legibility has been very clear whenever we're dealing with the giants.
Joey, you want to give us your thoughts?
Yeah, sure. I loved this chapter. I thought it was great. We came out of the flashback and that's cool. And then the last like few chapters kind of felt like setting the table for where we are now, getting back up to pace, and then now he's really going for it. And the way that you kind of split this apart with everybody taking 2 pages more or less, like also highlights that he was doing a really good job of kind of doing like 2 spreads at a time more or less for a scene, and getting a lot out of it in each scene. So it doesn't feel like one of those chapters where it's just kind of like spinning its wheels and then there's one dramatic thing at the end. That there was just a lot of stuff going on, and it was really, really cool. I'm very excited about the Brooks stuff. Brooks needed more attention ever since he basically first showed up and they split the crew apart.
He's still the newest one, right?
Yeah. Well, besides Jinbei.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
But oddly, yeah, it feels like he was a little more sidelined than Jinbei even. Although Jinbei could use a little bit extra story too, I think. But
he got Marineford, like he did, and Impel Down. Like I do think he got a lot more time.
That's true.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I like this direction that it's going with Shuri, as much as it's like, oh, another princess. Like, it's clear that the story is going in a direction where Emu is targeting royalty specifically. And so that kind of makes sense. And it also is mirroring the flashback that we just got out of in an interesting way, where it's kind of like, you know, on one hand, you could say, oh, well, this has taken away the mystery of like what he means by the father killing princess. Like, we can all kind of infer, because we just saw it in the Herald story, that she was probably overtaken by
I did not think of that. That is excellent.
Like I didn't put that together.
Joey, I like how
you
all obviously got this point that I just said, right?
It seems very obvious now.
No, it is very obvious now that you said it. I don't. Yeah, you're a storyteller, Joey, so you should be a few steps ahead of us. Yeah.
I think that it mirrors that flashback in an interesting way, and I
Steven,
think kind of sets. I think sets the.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just.
I watched my whole drive with one go. I got everything in the first watch. I don't watch.
Okay, I'm tired.
Yeah, so she's under Emu's control, and so this must have happened back when Gunko or Shuri killed her father, or something similar to that. Like, the father died in some circumstance where it looks that way, at least. And Brooke would have been the guard at that point, and whatever. Like, I'm very excited to kind of get into that story, just to get a little bit more meat for Brooke, yo ho ho. But I think that's really, really exciting to me. And I am a big fan of the giant pirates, so I was happy to see them get some like cool moments here to essentially defeating Luffy, which is fun, kind of an evil Nega Luffy. And the panel of him like crashing into the boat is really, really great. I love the like kind of messy marker work that Oda's been doing with the sleeptids. I think it's a like fun way to make them look different and otherworldly. And it makes them have a lot of impact. So, and like I was saying, I was really like enjoying seeing them in the background in the other pages, even when they weren't particularly present in the story. And I think the last thing I want to point out is a note from our friend Alex, who was not able to be on the episode. But in talking about the chapter this afternoon, he mentioned that it was like kind of tear-jerking that Dory and Brogy finally finished their battle, but in a sort of like heartbreaking and not ideal way. And so I think that that's very poignant as well, and a cool panel, cool composition and everything. So that's all I got to say.
I'm trying to remember, like, when Emu first turned them, do they in their like reverse-eat forms, did they regenerate all the stuff like the like the five elders and the other knights did?
I think Brogy's hand, so that's like how they reverse-eat him. Remember, initially like Brogy was the first one and they like cut off his hand as part of it, and I think it does. I mean, he has a hand here, right? He has two hands. Yeah.
It would make sense with like Zoro having this permission to just like chop people up.
Was it rocks regenerating or we've seen other reverse-eat people.
Yeah, I was just trying to remember. Yeah, if it was the reverse-eat
Saturn.
or if it,
well, but Saturn already had that, didn't he?
Yeah,
he already
Saturn was a reverse-eat. So, Saturn was just
that's
evil
what I'm trying
to begin with.
Distinguish. So I feel like this may be more of like a shocking in the moment sort of thing, and then they're gonna like regain their.
Yeah, I don't say
it would
this
be pretty
often.
sad if they died in a tiny panel as we're shifting to another scene.
Yeah,
like I don't think that that's the case.
No,
I think it's just
way.
a kind of like dramatic moment that kind of tugs at your heartstrings a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the very least, it's like shocking. Zoro's reaction is appropriate.
It's the shock value.
Yeah. God, Emu has too many powers. I don't know if this has been said, but it's confusing. Okay. Sam.
on the discussion of like the clarity of the action, like in the scenes where it's like a small person fighting the giants, I do think that's really struggling to be clear. Like I really like the scene with Sommers at the end, but I did not really understand it until we were going through it just now. So and like with Zoro's actions too, I think the characters having to be so small in the panels for their like the moment where they're making contact with the big characters, I think that is not been clear enough for me. This like 2+2 connection with the Gunko Princess Shuri is super interesting. Like that really makes that a much more. I was already kind of interested just to see like how
this chapter so much.
Yeah, how far we're gonna go into like are we gonna get like a second flashback for every single Straw Hat, or are we just being like selective for the time being? Because this definitely feels like we're about to learn more about Brooke. But yeah, like this idea that he's spent all these years like taking the father killing at face value. And so there's probably going to be probably like a heart-tugging scene of him learning that this girl he knew from the past wasn't actually committing this horrible act, and so it's going to be like reuniting them. So yeah, like because the twists and turns of like, what is Brooke's relationship with this girl? Like, is he going to be happy to see her? Oh, wait, no, he's not happy to see her. Oh, but he might end up being happy to see her anyway. It feels like that's the arc we're on. And I think that's kind of interesting. Other than that, I think that's about all I have to say.
Steven.
Yeah, that is kind of an interesting turnaround as far as with Brooke's relationship to this girl, because we saw in his little like sort of, I forget if it was his flashback or if it was Gunko's flashback, but there was like when she was even younger, she was just like a little kid, and was clearly like interacting with him and playing with him, and we knew that he was like he was like the leader of a military band for the kingdom or something like that. And so clearly, if she was the father killing princess and the one who stole away, the life of the one to whom Brooke owes everything, well, that's obviously going to be the king then. And so, like, he clearly had some kind of a protector relationship with her, presumably when he was in his regular life. And so, yeah, that's definitely, it's hard to imagine, a girl, because even Gunko in her quote unquote grown state, like Oda could easily say like, oh yeah, she's like 16 at the time that Imu took her over or whatever. Like that's what her age is frozen at now, as far as we know. That's, it's hard to tell with Oda's designs, but, she can't be that much older than when Brooke was seeing her. And, so it's hard to imagine like that character, the one that he remembers, like literally murdering her father, without obviously Imu's influence. So,
what necessitates
like about
the
a
name
10-year
change?
difference? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry.
What were you
Joey and Sam.
Sorry. I was going to say that we know that there's about a 10-year difference between the two. If he was saying that she'd be nearly 80 years old at this point and he's 90. So
is that right?
Yeah. I looked up his age because I thought he was 80 and I was like, wait, that doesn't make sense. They can't be the same age. But according to internet, he is 90. So,
okay. And then what were you saying?
Yeah, he was 88 before time skip, 90 Correct. Now. Yeah. And so my question was, what necessitates the name change if she was Princess Shuri, but now she goes by Gunko?
Yeah, so Gunko, I may have mentioned this initially, but Gunko is spelled with kanji, and it literally means like military child or army child. And it definitely feels like, oh, this is some weird like replacement name or title or
like
something.
Title?
Yeah, that Emu probably gave to her to remove, because it does not sound. I mean, it kind of sounds like a Japanese name because it has ko in it, but it's not. You would never find anyone named this in Japan. So it definitely has this feeling of like, oh, this is a very weird and artificial name for a character to have, which combined with the But
she does also keep a surname.
So, well, supposedly,
Mayer,
yeah, she is related to the Meyer family, which again, I don't know if that's literal or if that's just like where she was adopted.
Yeah, but it could also be something like akin to Dressrosa, where I don't know, like the royalty of the kingdom may still have connection to the royalty in the Celestial Dragon,
maybe they're branches of the same family or something.
I feel like Oda could absolutely just
one of them is like a 20 kingdoms family,
right.
One's
yeah, like maybe it was
name.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't one of the original kingdoms, and then blah blah blah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But her dad would not have been the man Meyer because he was ruling over the kingdom. Like that's where Brook worked, and the Celestial Dragons do not do that. They hang out and marry each other.
Yeah. No,
because they left.
What I'm saying, my prediction would be that Oda finds a way to get around that.
Okay.
That's I agree, but I like we've already seen him get around that with Doflamingo in a way. I feel like there's no reason something like that can't happen here. It could literally be that story where maybe her father quit and didn't want to be part of the Celestial Dragons, and she I don't know.
Right, yeah, there's a lot to be explained.
I mean, Brook knew that there was a connection to the Holy Land, so
that's true
with the princess. So yeah, and also the blue hair, gotta have blue hair.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, all of that aside, I did enjoy the chapter. I like how propulsive it is. Like it feels like we're really moving now. I think Joey was saying like we kind of had to come out of the flashback with Loki because he was kind of the conduit that we went into it with, and then we go back up to where the actual action is happening. And if I'm being perfectly honest, like the conundrum of like how to save the kids is not really the thing that I'm like the most interested in, even though it's obviously the driver of the drama. And I don't think that there's I think Oda's doing a fine job of making you really want to see the kids saved. Like he's spent enough time showing you what they're like, and they're very adorable, little moppets. But also it is a very much like I always call these like a Batman 66 sort of a thing of like, oh, here's this ingenious slow moving trap that we have to wait and see how the heroes will get out of. And it's always kind of a foregone conclusion that they will find some way to do it. So in that sense, I'm glad that we're like kind of, it feels like we're moving very quickly to address this stuff, which is
it's great though that neat. And the way the plan is thwarted in that
yes
he F's up his own plan. Yeah.
Yes, the last page is fantastic. And I guess I'll talk about the new giant move, which is just it's the curse that keeps giving. Because I know I went through this like the last time we had one of these, but it is just so it is so exquisitely frustrating for me. So to recap the whole thing of like why the Giants have all these special moves is, so you go back to Little Garden, right? It's like literally the very last chapter of Little Garden, right? Because they're leaving, and the Giants are like, all right, just go straight ahead, and then the giant fish comes up. And the crew's like, oh no, what do we do? And then they do the team up attack that blows this hole through the gigantic fish. And in Japanese, it's called Hakoku, which is like, it's spelled with this kanji for like conquering or, rule or like, ambition and country. And it's literally, the ha is the same ha that's in hockey.
That's interesting. I forgot about that.
Yeah, but there's no. Yeah, it's one of those weird things where like hockey is literally a word in Japanese, but the Oda invented a separate meaning for it. It's like the Force in Star Wars.
Well, I do remember when that was originally. Sorry to interrupt. I do remember when that was originally being translated and like decided upon hockey. Everyone was just calling it ambition. I would call it, ambition or presence or something like that. There's different ways you could do it. But anyways, hakoku is not a word. Like, it's not a real word. So that's a made up thing. And so some combination of whoever was the translator or the editor, them working together for Viz at the time, decided to translate it as hakoku sovereignty. So you have the Japanese name, which is not given any context. So it's just a name. It's just a word. And then they included sovereignty, which is kind of like, I guess sovereignty would be like a country, right? Because, sovereign is like a king. So sovereignty would be a thing that is ruled over by a king. But it's not really a translation. So it's kind of like a worst of both worlds thing where they just split the difference. And then like you get something that's not really translated and doesn't really include all the context. So that's a little frustrating. But, okay, whatever. It's one special attack that appears one time. How could that possibly be a problem? Well, the reason it's a problem is because then you flash forward to Whole Cake Island when Big Mom does an attack, and I forget which scene it was that she does this. But it's specifically, she calls it Ikoku. Her version of this, super, power blast is Ikoku instead of Hakoku. So there's a different kanji, but it's obviously the same style pattern. And specifically, Luffy recognizes it and is like, "Oh, that's the thing from the Giants." So in other words, for the scene to make sense, it has to mimic the text of the original thing. So I couldn't even retranslate it because then, everybody would be like, "Why does Luffy recognize this?" Even though, the readers should recognize it. So I had to carry it on. That's why Big Mom uses Ikoku sovereignty, because we're basically, and now it's just now we have Gokoku sovereignty. Yet again, another change in kanji. I think if I recall correctly, I think was this one like rumbling. Let me just pop over my file. I was going to ask while you do that, what if you had full freedom, what would you call it?
That's a good question, which I have never had to answer because
that's why I'm here.
I never had the chance. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm sure I'll tell you one thing. I would be using, like powerthesaurus.com and a bunch of other sites that I like to use to like look for different, different sort of associated words. I'm sure I would have gotten increasingly frustrated as he comes up with more and more of these that I would have to base off the pattern. And like same thing with the double general and the triple general. I don't actually know like if there is like a homophone or something where Oda's like, "Oh, I'm secretly, this is like sounds like this other," like it's probably going to turn out that like, "Oh, it sounds the same as like the name of like this robot from a 1975 kids TV show or something," because that's like half of Oda's.
Probably it. That is probably it.
That's how Oda rolls with a lot of these things.
Actually, Joey would be the best source for whether or not that's the case.
Yeah.
I just know I love to pour myself a hot cup of sovereign tea.
Oh, we've made that joke.
Sovereignty.
We definitely made that joke.
Okay, so I should stop drawing the sketch.
No, you can. I think you made that joke, Joey. Okay, whatever.
So the go in Gokoku is like it's sort of like rumbling or roaring. It is literally the kanji is like the word for car or vehicle like 3 times in an arrangement. So that's what the kanji is. So yeah, I don't know. There's conquering country. There's like, powerful or attacking country. And now we have, roaring country or rumbling country or whatever. Anyone else's guess is as good as mine, but that's what we got.
I remember making this joke like 10 years ago, and now I'm trying to find it. Sorry, go ahead, Stephen.
But yeah, it's I'm excited to see what happens next, particularly to Sommers. Hopefully we'll get more of the the disaster unfolding for him, because that would be very delightful to see, because he's got it coming for sure.
Absolutely. My thoughts. Oh, I get to.
Yeah.
Forgot about mine. Yeah, I really love this chapter, and I feel really ashamed that I also did not put 2 and 2 together. I think that adds such that adds so much in like 2 pages. I think Oda really was economical in this chapter, and I think you guys have all mentioned this in some form or fashion. Like, it's pretty. This is like one of the best uses of like 3 different scenes in one chapter, conveying what's going on in different places, not being too repetitive, being pretty clear with caveats that we've noted, while also mixing in some really funny moments. Like, I think this is a pretty like solid chapter. Like, obviously this isn't gonna like blow anyone's mind sort of chapter, but the Brook stuff, like, the thing I have really enjoyed about Elbaf in particular is that a lot of our post-time skip One Piece does not focus on the Straw Hats. And a lot of that is because the Straw Hats have been so developed over the course of several decades, and pre-time skip, just like, think of Water 7, for example, with Usopp, like such, and Robin, and, we've gotten the stuff with Sanji. The further away I get from it, like, yes, there were good parts of, this is going to be my hot take of the day. There are good parts of Sanji's flashback, and there are good reasons to revisit that. But, like, there are also a lot of parts that feel very lifted from previous flashbacks, like Sanji and Robin's had a ton of parallels. And was it ultimately wholly necessary to have? I don't know. I mean, there were cool stuff that came out of it, like the Germa stuff and all that. But, like, with this one, I feel like it is necessary. Like, Brook's flashback, I've always thought Brook has had the most potential to mine into his backstory because he's literally the oldest. He's literally had 2 lifetimes. And we saw the story of the end of his first lifetime. And that's really, like, we saw the tail end of his life there. In probably one of the best flashbacks of the series. Like, Brook, the strongest part of Brook, I think most people can agree, is his flashback, and is his story, which, like, every time I think about it is just so heart-wrenching that he just had to sit on a ship, watch everyone die, and survive for 50 years by himself, only sustained on fart jokes. Like, ultimate, that's tough. And I was looking back at chapter what was it, 489, which is when he officially joins the crew. I've mentioned this pretty recently. Whenever we last talked about this Brook stuff, when it came up, when the Gunko stuff right before the flashback.
Yeah.
Long ago, I was the translation at the time, at least, was I was the leader of a battle convoy in a certain kingdom. Which, come on, Brook, be a little more specific next time. You're joining a crew. Like, let's get your full CV out here. But it's super. I'm really excited to hopefully see more about this. And the one other hot take I would have is that, as much as I love the flashback, if I had to choose between a flashback for Loki and everything that we got and one for Brook, I might choose the Brook one, because also he's a Straw Hat, and I really want that fleshed out. However, having both might be too much of a good thing, because we just came out of 6 months of the longest flashback we've ever had in the series. Will we get this now? Maybe. Should we get this now? Maybe. I don't know. But I'll say, again, in the economics of it, he did a really good job conveying a lot of that story in just 2 pages. And I know Greg and you talked about this, Steven, in a recent SGS episode, but that, like, I think it was you guys talked about, like, Gunko might have the come to Jesus moment, or at least that she'll like, you know, if not become one of the good guys, at least like figure out, be able to get out of the grip of Emu, or like at least try.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that like tearing Gunko away from Emu, especially with the Brook relationship, is like the dramatic center of the fight part of the arc for sure.
Agreed. And it gives a lot more attention to everything going on, because it's like once Luffy shows up, I'm going to be like, okay, kick everyone's ass. And it's going to be great. Don't get me wrong, to watch him kick all of their asses. But the drama will at least briefly probably subside when Loki and Luffy, in a good way. But my point is, I think this chapter really solidifies that. I do also want to remind people that Gunko was saying some really heinous shit before she got possessed by Emu here. Like, she did say that she was going to take Brook and make him, as you mentioned, because I forgot that this happened, that to make Brook like her music slave for the rest of time.
Right.
Since both of them are presumably immortal, that, you know.
The way you said that, like it was like her on her Twitter or something, like you didn't see the shit she was saying back in the day.
Cancel Gunko.
Yeah. Well, Gunko should have been canceled. Like, this is, she should be way beyond that. And so that's kind of why I never put two and two together, because I'm like, oh, Gunko's just awful anyway. Like, she has already proven herself to be a celestial dragon with all of the qualities of a celestial. She was in the human hunt in God Valley. She like briefly showed up there. We don't know what specifically she did, but come on, let's not be apologists for the celestial dragons here. Especially the ones who love murdering people and enslaving people and the whole, So, like, I don't want to see her redeemed. However, unless she's been completely out of her control this entire time, but I don't, we have no reason to believe that, given what we saw this chapter. But I'm curious what brought her to this place and time. It's definitely one of the most interesting things that remain on the table in this arc. Despite her pantslessness, she is and her extremely anime design, she is very interesting. She has so many hats on hats. She is.
It will be interesting to see how her design, at least wardrobe, changes after this kind of like waking up moment. I know we saw in the flashback she did, presumably, if that was her look, she had the longer hair and looked a little different, but I think it was the longer hair that maybe triggered Brook's memories there. Completely. Although, again, when you're alone for like 50 years on a ship, your mind, one last thing I wanted to mention, and that's that we talked about it a little bit, or I brought it up, is the stuff where the visual cues you have as to how under control she is from Emu is really fun and cool and subtle. Like, I mean, like, obvious in a way that, Joey thought that the thing was obvious with Gunko's backstory. But, like, I think it's a good, like, the reader is smart enough to get these little cues, sorts of things that Oda does a lot. I also just want to say how much I think Donnie, they posted on our Discord, like, this is a great reaction image. I never want to think of you for the rest of my life. But also just an excellent panel. Like, it probably is very difficult to get the full emotion out of a skeleton. But I think he does a very good job this week. And I'm looking forward to more Brook. I love Brook. I love Ian Sinclair, and so we'll get some of that too, I'm sure, in the dub.
One Piece season 2.
Yeah. So you two are on the internet.
No, I found that very funny. I was like, oh, what are people talking about?
I did too.
They don't know.
It's a very long. Some people take that like what are you talking about? I think it is funny. It's ridiculous. It's funny. Any final thoughts? Okay. Why don't we take a quick break and we'll get into some piece together questions. This is the Piece Together segment where we take your questions, comments, theories, but we don't finish each other's
Gunko.
Sentences. What? Gunko? Who says that? That's not even... Sam, what's the first segment we got here?
Our first segment is Dispiece.
From our Patreon subscribers, you too could make us read your questions, comments, or theories. We're forced to through bribery. So yeah, join on Patreon.
Forced to read Discord.
Yep. That's what we should have called it. Yeah.
Spin-off podcast.
Just do a whole podcast about it. Sam, what's the first question?
Our first Dispiece comes from Recrossed Six Paths, who says, "Hey OPP, Brooke got to do so much in this chapter. I feel like my mental powers did that. And we got to see a cute little ducky boat before it got destroyed. I feel like my mental powers did that too. Where did the boat come from? All the holy knights of God teleported there. Was it a ship? Was it a giant ship that they Domi reversied into an evil duck ship off screen? Did they build it out of arrows, thorns, and dreams while we had a 6-month-long flashback? I feel like my mental powers did not do that." It looked like a Viking ship.
It looked like a Viking ship.
Yeah.
So they're using it for transporting the kids.
I did not get that immediately either, I think, when I first saw it. But yeah, it is definitely... and also think about it, they wouldn't have a giant ship, but they... I mean, whose ship was it, I guess, is the question originally. Wrong answers only.
It's not the Giants ship, the Great Eric, because that got smashed in the...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone said, the Great Eric! No, Eric! Sean. The Great Sean.
That's the lesser Eric.
The lesser Eric.
The Great Eric is also what they call Emu on Zoom. Calls Great Eric.
Love it. More of this. I love them on Zoom call. I love powerful characters doing very mundane things. That's like my sense of humor in a nutshell right there.
Yeah, it's the Dr. Evil principle, right? Just put them in silly situations.
Like Emu with an accountant or something is just funny to me. Like very boring shit with a very overpowered individual, I think is very funny. Yes. Next one, Sam.
Our next Dispiece comes from Rage You Against the Machine, aka Slay. Hello, my fellow Nightcrawlers and Honey Smearers. Man, I can't believe Nika died in this chapter. Shot through the heart. Left a hole in his chest just like his late brother.
I guess we have to call this one Shot Through the Heart, or Stabbed Through the Heart, or something of like
Ikoku Sovereignty Through the Heart.
Sovereignty Through the Heart.
Ooh, we could still call it that.
Teeth through the heart.
Teeth through the heart. That's when I drink my tea. That's what I got heartburn after. That's what I call
it. Great development for Brooke and Shuri. I do hope their fight wraps up soon. Good thing Brooke is out of his bind. Wink, wink. I want to see them work things out. Anywho, Zoro's plan really was just him cutting people. Never change, Zoro. My question is this: if the Straw Hats couldn't physically fight, how would they each get out of a moment of conflict if they had no other choice? Thank you, and have a great week. So no physical fighting. Luffy would eat the enemy.
Luffy's effed, I think, basically, though.
He would eat the enemy, like that
happened with Cracker, yeah.
Brooke would soothe their soul with music.
Yes,
that's easy, yeah.
Nami seduction.
Zoro would cut them and thereby
Nami
break
seduction.
the rules.
Usopp lies.
Chopper cries.
Yeah.
Chopper's doctrine.
Robin uses archaeology. No.
Frankie would just claim to be a robot and
scare them.
Walk off. Yeah.
I feel like Robin would just like be a really good liar as opposed to Usopp.
Yes. Robin and Nami and maybe Usopp could talk their way out of it, I feel like.
Usopp, he could talk his way out if his opponent is dumb.
Which, is it, did they say specifically who? They usually are.
No, just if they couldn't physically fight, what would their other option to get out of a moment of conflict be?
Well, here, let's throw this one level further. Which major villains in One Piece that off the top of your head do you think Usopp could beat by talking his way out of it then?
Which major?
Yeah, like big arc villains, like the ones that
he would try. You would think that he might be getting somewhere with Big Mom, and then she would pull the rug out from under him, and he would be like, "Oh my God, she is so terrifying."
It could.
I do love this concept.
Could Usopp appeal to Eneru?
Didn't he try to? He tried to.
Because he is God Usopp.
He remember they had that Nami went with Eneru, which what a fun concept too. The everything that happened with that, but Sanji's like, oh, I'm cool. I'm gonna. But Usopp had to kind of waffle there.
I feel like maybe Magellan, he could kind of filibuster him until he has to go to the bathroom or something.
Yeah, he could probably get Caesar.
Caesar definitely. Yeah. I mean, he kind of did. Remember, he had that big speech at the end about Luffy too.
But he was in a different room than.
You're right. He was. Caesar. He was in a different room. I could tell you which ones he definitely would not be able to talk his way out of. Crocodile, no way in hell. Arlong,
Lucci, no.
Lucci, definitely not. Doflamingo, I don't even think he would let him continue talking.
No.
Yeah, those are big ones. Kuzan definitely he could get. I know he's not a big time villain, but Kaido, I think if you put some alcohol in front of him, could probably talk his way out.
Usopp kills Kaido.
UKK. I think Stephen Paul did this intentionally.
Yeah.
That's what that concerned, right? It was. I think that was related to that. Next question, Sam.
Our next question comes from Straw Hat Rigby, who says, "Hey OPP, what a chapter! I really liked the bit of a swerve in Brooke actually hating Gunko instead of having a fond memory of her. Oda always keeping us on our toes." So anyway, today is Super Bowl Sunday. What? I'm sure there's been some version of a joke about sports or sports ball or, we know how many of our listeners also like sports, looking at you, Zach.
Nailed you. Absolutely.
I'm going to go right out and say Superb Owl is the new sports ball. I was
tempted
down.
too, but I was like, it's kind of overdone.
Has been around for a really long time,
too.
Joey.
Yeah.
I know it's ancient, but I feel like it's
coming
taken
back
its
around.
place as the new kind of annoying way to say.
These are all
I'm not interested in the Super Bowl.
I look up to Mike Patton's sense of humor of using the really older humor to describe something. It's so out of popularity that it's funny. That's just what I'm trying to do here.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
If everyone's taking a drink if everyone's taking a drink for the shitty jokes we're telling here, please take yourself to a hospital. Keep going. Sorry.
But I'll have you know that there are listeners who listen to this podcast and like sports. There are dozens of us. Shout out Arrested Development joke. So in honor of the big game, in honor of the big game, trademark free usage, here is how I would break down the Straw Hats if they were a part of a football team. Luffy is the quarterback. Zoro is his right tackle. Sanji is the field goal kicker. Usopp is the running back. Nami is the punter. Chopper is the left tackle in guard point form. Robin is the wide receiver. She can sprout a million hands to catch passes from anywhere. Frankie is the tight end. And Brooke is also a wide receiver, super fast.
Yeah,
and Jinbei is a defensive tackle.
With that speedo.
Yes, tight end. Is that a position? Tight end?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, no, that's actually, that is a good, like literally his build is that of a tight end because they're usually pretty big. They're bigger than a wide receiver. because they're also kind of linemen.
Stephen,
in that sense.
I don't know this sports ball. I know how many of our listeners do. But I know, like, I didn't even invite Golfer on the episode tonight because he is a sports ball fan. So he would probably enjoy the superb owl, as is said, I heard recently. God.
I assume he likes golf.
I assume Golfer likes golf. And if he doesn't, then it's I'm not getting the joke.
What if Alex like hopped on this call right now and we'd be like, "Oh my God, you guys, Will Smith slapped Chris Rock again."
Yeah.
I definitely made that joke last week, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's still funny, though. Let's get on from making fun of me to hopefully not making fun of me, Sam.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed this full breakdown. You are legally obligated to have enjoyed it since I'm a Patreon subscriber. Mm-hmm. Have a great week and go Pats.
No.
Okay.
Why isn't he Straw Hat Rugby instead of Rigby? If he's such a sports fan.
Yeah. That's true.
Our next disc piece comes from Memory Cramming Back, who says, "Ahoy, OPP. Banger chapters as always. As a Brook fan, I am eating with this new lore and added mystery. Who do you think Shuri and her king dad really are? Wrong answers only. Have a great week. P.S. Mental Powers, God Usopp does it again."
Was Shuri in katakana, Stephen? I forget if I'm taking it serious.
No,
so there's like nothing to be clean.
Shuri was in Black Panther. That's the joke.
I get it.
Yeah, this is how much I know about Marvel. I will say, my son definitely knows more about Marvel.
Shuri did have a king dad, right?
Yeah, I was trying to remember because it's not T'Challa. I don't remember what their dad's name was.
Their dad was in Civil War and then died.
That's right. That's the extent of my knowledge.
The joke just really flew way over the reference. I feel like anyone with Steve Urkel in a room right now, like just completely over my head. Sorry, that was out of line.
I think that fulfills the question.
That does.
The Black Panther characters.
King of cartoons. I don't know.
Our next disc piece comes from Tyler, who says, "Hey, OPP. Long-time listener since Punk Hazard, one-time voicemail leaver, and first-time Discord poster. Cool. I showed my 2- and 4-year-old film Red last night because they wanted a One Piece movie for a family movie night. It makes me think of how much he was flushing out the devil demon powers to get to the end of the series already. I wonder what concepts from Film Red may play in the ending of the series. Also, I probably should have picked a different OP movie for a 2- and 4-year-old, but my boys did like dancing to the music. So,
true that the soundtrack is. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Happy Superb Owl.
Oh,
yeah.
You know,
all right, chalk one up for.
I didn't scroll down enough, and I actually did not see that. So that's perfectly. Yeah. What was I going to say? My son,
Film Red.
My son took after me in that he is scared of everything right now. Like Totoro was very terrifying. Although I get it. That's the thing with all of them. Like, I get it. Everything's terrifying.
I mean, there's a lot of like crazy visions and monsters and stuff in Film Red, right? In the songs.
Yeah. I think movie 6 is really what you should be starting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one. I'm like trying to think of the least. Which one for my 4-year-old specifically would be the least? It would probably, I haven't seen
like
the
one
Chopper
of the shorts
one
where they're playing soccer or something.
Yeah, actually, that is exact. Like we've been watching a little of the Olympics, and he's like, although he's been really into like the skiing, and my wife is like, "Oh, don't this person crashed. Make sure you don't show that."
Oh yeah, yeah, that was pretty ugly.
He's got to see that someday. He's got to see. No, that's not what I said, but
maybe like the early movies, like the first 4 or
that's
something.
What I was thinking.
Those
the Chopper.
Quite...
I haven't seen most of the early ones because they haven't been legally available, and I'm saving myself for when they are. But the Chopper one probably I would assume would be a good one. I could already tell that my daughter is not going to care at all about like that, but maybe I'm wrong. I mean, she's one.
I mean,
so.
I see I see the logic behind it because there's so much music in Film Red, right?
Yes.
So like nothing
Gold
will
has the
get
best. Well, Film Red is like dancing
but it has
music.
it has like songs. Like it's not just music. There's singing and. Music video style
but
stuff,
none of them have Elmo in it, so that my 1-year-old is out.
Bebo.
Although Red could refer to Elmo, God forbid. Although the Muppet, if we have the Muppets in One Piece, this is all we're saying. Somebody listen to us.
That's right. Yeah, Netflix bought the Muppets, so
I
they
mean, like, personally,
love a crossover.
Film Elmo.
I mean, I think I mentioned that my son came in here asking if the manga on my shelf were superhero books, and I'm like, kind of.
Oh yeah.
But like, I don't know when or how I would introduce One Piece to them. But I know I can't push it on them unless they're of a certain age, because then they definitely won't be interested. Because that's one thing I know about children. Except the thing is, at this age would be perfect because they are copying everything we're doing. But One Piece, I just feel like isn't quite 4-year-old. But I guess this longtime listener disagreed. Anyway, that wasn't at all the question. Anyway, what's next?
Our next disc piece comes from Sailor Karna, who says, "Hey OPP, my kid wanted you to know that she made it to the time skip and is enjoying seeing Luffy beat the fake Straw Hats."
That part is great.
Oh,
wow.
That's great.
Fun.
That is
There's a
very
lot of parents on our Discord today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is probably one of the more satisfying, because there is enough build up there. You're like, come on.
Yeah. He waited through like a chapter or two right before like Luffy actually figures out what's going on, and then finally has an excuse to beat him up.
It's like a Curb episode where you could see it coming, and it's like, although with that, it's not. It's usually satisfying to see him get his comeuppance, but it's kind of like that. It's like someone's doing, So, yeah. What's next?
Our next disc piece comes from Mail Daddy, who says, "Hey OPP,
Whoa.
I seek your expert wisdom. My friend owes me a tattoo, and I was thinking of getting a manga panel of Luffy. Do you have any suggestions for a specific panel of our future King of the Pirates that I should get? Thank you."
Do any of us here have tattoos?
That's a
No.
very heavy responsibility.
That is very heavy.
Yeah.
Can I defer this until like we have our tattooed contingent on here? Because I will say, I know Ken recently got one of a panel with Yamato that looks just badass.
Yeah, that looks really good.
It looks like, I think a manga panel for a tattoo is like specifically very cool. So I think you were going in the right direction.
Yeah, because it has the framing around it already. I think that makes it really sharp.
And like, I don't know like what tattoo artists would do there. I only know stuff about temporary tattoos and very little about that even. But I think there's just something, there's a gravitas behind it, and it looks like the thing that you want it to look like. I mean, behind me, I have
like
that. Yeah, go on.
I was like the panel of Luffy after they first did the Gaon cannon with the Thousand Sunny, and he's got like the stars in his eyes, and he's like crying.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I was thinking it would be. Yeah, I think I would.
Do you want
go
a funny
with
one or a
something...
cool one or?
Exactly. Like I think I wouldn't opt for one where he's looking super tough or angry or anything like that. I think I would want one where he's got a little bit more of a relaxed or excited expression, because it just brings some good vibes along with you wherever you go.
Yeah, I hesitate to sound like a scolding parent or something like that, but I do feel like this is one of those things where like it's supposed to be one that you picked out yourself that means a lot to you. You know what I mean? So unless you really like us so much that we could pick out a random panel that really is not relevant to your life at all, and would for some reason choose that. Please
get the one as a kid.
Sam, don't even say one as a joke. Don't even say one as a joke, because then he'll get it, and I don't know. Too much responsibility.
Like water Luffy.
I think.
There we go.
Steven, I want him to get water Luffy.
Bad liar Luffy.
Although he could stab himself in the arm, and when blood comes out, it could. No, don't do that.
Get the one of Luffy stabbing himself in the face.
No, my serious answer would probably be either the recent Luffy dream one, where he like right after he says his dream, and he has that very nice, serene, happy face. Although we don't know what that is yet, so you're putting a lot of stock into that.
That's right.
Oh, I want to kill everyone. Oh.
Yeah, his dream is like, I want to establish a base on Mars.
Like you got like an Eren Yeager tattoo early on.
I want a Cybertruck. No, I think any like the that face though. There's a few instances, and I'm struggling to remember specifics where he gives that like at the end of battle face. I think Enies Lobby has a pretty prominent one. Like that's like my Luffy. Like I like that. But it really has to.
Thinking of
go ahead.
Yeah, I just keep thinking of Luffy with the puckered lips, kind of whistling off to the side.
Great one. Great one.
That's the bad liar one that I was thinking.
That's an excellent one. Good. It really needs to mean something to you, and maybe what I would suggest to do.
Or were you thinking of like the Sanji imitation?
Yeah, I think maybe you put that in my head, but yeah, the Sanji one would be good too.
That's a great one too. Why don't you come back to us in March when I know more of our tattooed contingent should be here, and you could give us more details too, and then maybe we could help you with this problem. And by problem, I mean tattoo. We have 2 more of these, right? Or 2.
2 more. Our next disc piece comes from Big Mike, who says, "Hey, OPP, it's been a while since Brooke has asked any of the women if he can see their panties or do anything pervy. Is he okay? I've been expecting a gag of him attempting to walk underneath the giant women to look up their skirts and Nami punishing him, but nothing's happened. Should we be worried about him?"
I mean,
there's a lot going on.
Yeah, Brick's got a lot.
Have time.
Yeah,
he's dealing with a lot right now.
He's got all the panties he needs to see right now.
and he doesn't want to say anything about Shuri until he like knows for sure if what his relationship with her is.
I'm fine if that joke disappears into time.
Yeah. I suspect that they are weaning away from that. Like
Oda,
like it'll never go away completely. It'll never go away completely. But like I think, especially with the live action show and like their push for, more international stuff and like the way like Mineta from like My Hero like kind of slowly got phased out. Over the story, and like they just kind of stopped having Mineta jokes after a while because
I don't know if Oda is. No, I get it.
Yeah,
I just
like I don't think they'll ever stop being like like some pervy jokes here and there, but like I think like but like when was the last time Sanji even did that?
In this chapter. Well, I mean, not literally, but
yeah, he wasn't harassing anyone, but
not yet. He's on his way to
hearts in their eyes. Girls in skimpy clothes, that's still all okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, have you seen Gonko? Like, this week?
Right.
But,
yeah, is fine.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I don't have that much faith in that joke going away, but what's the next question, Sam? Yeah, we could talk about this all day for some reason. We shouldn't.
Our final disc piece is from Sheepman, who says, "Howdy, OPP. I'm in Japan right now and simply wanted to ask what everyone on this week's episode of the podcast about what their favorite One Piece related experience was in Japan, or something One Piece related that you're looking forward to doing in the future. The One Piece statues last year for me were the biggest highlight."
Steven, have you been to Japan?
Yes, in fact, my answer.
Right?
My answer is quite easy because I went there, and while I was there, I had enough. Well, so I had a certain amount of money. This was when I was it was a student exchange, so I was in high school, and my parents gave me a certain amount of allowance to spend, and Most of it may have gone to VHS copies, a box set of VHS of the End of Evangelion movies, which was the only way that I could access them at the time. But I also did buy the first 3 volumes of One Piece while I was there, because I was like, oh, I should buy some manga while I'm here. And I had been thinking about it because I had seen One Piece in Jump for a book report that I did for school, and that was that. You know, we were talking about that on the One Piece and Jump magazine episode that we did a few weeks ago. But after that, then when I was in Japan, I was like, I should buy some manga, and so I settled on the first 3 volumes of One Piece and brought them home with me, and the rest was history.
Joey?
I have a kind of similar story. I had encountered One Piece in some imported issues of Shonen Jump while I was in high school, and then I did a student exchange. And the family I stayed with, the other high schooler who was their son, was like, I don't read that much manga anymore, but I do read this, and he had a bunch of One Piece volumes, and I was like, oh wow, that's that thing that I've seen. And so I was starting to kind of get the idea that it was popular. Mm-hmm. And I was seeing it in some merchandise and stuff. And then I visited my host mother. My host mother worked at a preschool, and I visited and I met the kids, and they asked me, you know, what anime I liked and stuff. And they asked, like, do you like One Piece? And I was like, I'm interested in One Piece, but like, when does it air? And they all were like, oh, it airs at blah, you know, they told me exactly when it was on TV. And so I made a point to watch it one day, and it was during Baratier, because I remember, you know, I didn't really know what One Piece was. Mm-hmm. But I was like, okay, there's a bunch of chefs in the water. I don't understand. Like, I thought this was a
was that when it was initially, that's when it was initially airing in Japan?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It was like 2000. Wow. And I still have the Jump issues from that time were Drum. I have a lot of those still.
You guys are the real thing.
Yeah, it was cool. It was like getting to see something that was just really, blossoming into something that was very popular. It already was very, very popular at that point.
Oh, yeah.
And I got the sense like, oh, okay, this is kind of like the big hit sensation. And you know, I knew what Shonen Jump was because I was a big Dragon Ball fan, but there was not Dragon Ball stuff anywhere to see, but there was One Piece stuff everywhere.
I should say, speaking of anecdotes, I did bring them. So I bought the volumes at some point in the middle of it. So like, you know, part of the trip was during summer vacation, and then part of it was during the school years to, like, you know, ensure that you could sort of experience both parts of you know, teenage life there. And but they did have, like, my host student had a gym period, and I obviously didn't have any gym clothes. I couldn't really participate. So I remember, like, sitting, you know, against the wall in the gymnasium when they were doing, you know, I forget if it was table tennis or something like that. And so I was just like, well, I'm just going to pull, you know, One Piece out of my bag and, you know, just look through it, try to read a little bit of it. And at some point, like, some of the guys came over. They're like, "Whoa, what are you reading? What you got there?" And then I showed them that it was One Piece, and they were like, "Oh, okay, yeah, cool." So I got like all right, you passed. Yeah,
test.
Exactly. They're like, "Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a cool."
Nice. Sam, you haven't been, right? I
have not been to Japan. No.
What would be?
I mean, it's not a specific to Japan thing, but I'd probably have a better chance of seeing it in Japan. Or like those exhibits with the real like drafts of the manga.
The one that Steve just went to in San Francisco.
Right. Yeah. Like seeing that in person with my own eyes is something I absolutely want to do at some point in my life. I think that would be a really like even just daydreaming about it in my head. It's like a very powerful experience.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
My more recent trip to Japan, I went to a Mugiwara store. It wasn't an especially like One Piece trip, but I did make a point to go to the Mugiwara store. Do you hear my cat going wild? And
we're cat friendly.
They have a bunch of reproductions of the color spreads around, and when I first saw them, I thought it was the original art, and I thought my eyeballs just about popped out of my head. But
yeah, that happened to me too. But the Mugiwara store.
And that display that they have in Japan with like the Ishitani animation that's like wrapping around the wall.
Oh yeah, that looks incredible.
The base?
That looks great. That would be
that's One Piece base. I think he's
stuff
right.
stuff like that is the kind of stuff I really want to see.
I mean, first of all, I've been like really fortunate to do lots of One Piece stuff in Japan. You could watch online for free our documentary One Piece Podcast Goes to Japan from, I can't believe I'm saying this, 13 years ago?
2013.
Yeah, 2013. The thing behind me. That we did that. And that whole experience is so special. And like getting to go to Greg's apartment, going to USJ and seeing the show in Osaka, going to the not really licensed One Piece bar that existed there. I think it's still there. I mean, like they have that like those like quasi like you're allowed to do this kind of thing for those sorts of things. I think in Japan, getting to go to Oda's like schools, like so you can watch that for my full experience, but I'm like, oh, it would have been so much better if I went now and did all those things, like, and actually knew a little bit of what we were doing a little bit more and not rushed right after I took the bar exam to do that. I feel bad for the amount of like pressure I threw on Greg, and myself, but more Greg, to do that. But I think it came out great, and really getting to meet the inspiration for Zeph, even though he thought he was the inspiration for Sanji, was an all-timer. And the last trip I went was amazing too, and I really hope I could do something like that again with everyone in the crew before all is said and done, because we only have one time to do these things. And One Piece Tokyo Tower was incredible. I'm super sad that that's gone. I think my favorite moment of that was seeing Alex jump scared at the Brook exhibition, which, look, I'm not Mr. like, I don't get scared of things, but I did not, it's not scary, but it was great. I'm like, oh, Alex, I didn't know you were like this. God, that whole thing. And also seeing Greg surprise.
I thought that's what you were going to say was Alex getting jump scared by Greg.
That was, equally good. I forgot the actual thing. But it was very funny that Alex got jump scared at the Brook haunted house thing. But God, there's still so much. I want to go to Japan all the time. I think I've said this before, like it's the place I get homesick, even though I don't live there and have no like ancestral connection to, but I just want to be there all the time. But I don't know how I would drag two kids on an intercontinental flight. That seems difficult. Or leaving my kids for such a long period of time is also equally tough. That's why I went in 2019, though. I'm like, I got to do this now. Not that I knew it was imminently happening, but like, I don't know when I'm going to get to do this again. But my goal is to do it again before the series is over. That was the last disc piece, right? Sam? I think that was a yes.
Yep, that was the end.
We just have 3 blue sky PS, which we're going to do. First comes from DK Toy Chest, who says, it's been 19 years and we are getting... Wait, no way has it been 19 years since Brook was introduced. Is that true? That is true, isn't it?
So I'm sure you could tell me any stretch of time with One Piece.
We've been doing this for almost 17, so that makes sense. It's been 19 years and we're getting Brook more backstory. Us Brook fans are living the dream now. They said, I assume Shuri's story is going to parallel Harold and Loki, that she was duped and becoming a vessel for Emu, and Emu used her to kill her father. So there you go. Someone else got 2+2 on this, Joey. I'm never going to live that down. And also the sports ball thing from earlier. Aiden has the next one. Since the flashback ended and we haven't seen Frankie, Bonnie, or Lilith, they were with Ripley and Root to the kids, but so far haven't appeared. So where'd they go? Maybe Frankie's going to grab the general. It'd be a perfect to fight with the giants. I feel like it would be tiny in comparison, but maybe not. Would love your speculation. Love the show. Anyone?
Maybe they can enhance the general so that it can be bigger or something with all those scientists there. I don't know. I honestly don't think about them very much. Like Bonnie and
I think about Frankie.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Lilith is like one of those things that's like, oh yeah, what's going on with that? The fact that we aren't thinking about Bonnie and Kuma at all has been disappointing. Like, it never really felt like we got the full cap on that story.
Well, that just means it's going to be like an out of left field thing when they.
Yeah, but up. does that diminish what we got there? Is what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm not saying it does. I'm just saying it might. Last question. Ice Fisher Tenacity. Hi, OPP. Now that summer's getaway is floatsome, I theorize they'll kidnap Biblo, steal the Sunny, and use the owl to enlarge the ship to make their escape. Thoughts. Wow, that is a complicated plan, so definitely.
We're going to turn it around. We're going to march all the way back to where the school is.
Where do they go from here? That is a good question, though, and we never really addressed it. Like, what could possibly... How could Summers get out of
Holy
this?
Nights? Yeah.
Yeah. I think Summers is relatively fucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
My big blow theory was that he was going to shrink the hammer and let Usopp use it. But now that it's a living thing, I don't think that really works.
Yeah, that's right. It has to be inorganic matter or inanimate matter, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Now that it's happened, it does seem like that was a big weakness in the plan all along was, you got all these magic powers, but it kind of requires the use of a ship.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Oda will do. Maybe Oda will do another one of his classic, like with the ships in Wano, where it's like, oh, there's more ships just hiding around the side of the panel, and that's his way to get out of it.
Okay, that's gonna do it for Piece Together. Why don't we round off? This has been the One Piece Podcast, episode 905 for the week of February 9th, 2026. I want to say this year generally has sucked, obviously. I think everyone knows that it sucks. However, this year in podcasting has been pretty amazing so far. If you have not listened to the first few episodes of the year, please do. I think so. 900, we had the Quest for the Best folks on. A lot of fun that episode. 901 is an all-timer with Stevens. We talked about a little bit before the translation of the interview with Oda in Jump. I'm sorry, in the magazine. The one after that, we had the squirrel and all that. I'm trying to remember more specifics besides that. What else happened in that? I'm sure things happened in that. I just can't even remember. We had a new SGS for the year, and last week's was also fantastic. With Golfer Gear, and I got to be on Quest for the Best of last week to talk about Orb, which I already have Kirsten messaging me as she goes through that, being shocked about things. It's awesome, and I hope you all are able to watch it. It is violent, so if you have a 2 and a 4-year-old, probably not the show to watch with them. However, still very good. Still good historical fiction anime. I have to watch I have to read Kingdom and Vinland Saga next. I think those are my next two because it fits in that. I've said I have Vinland Saga. Like, I need to just find and I need to do what Isaiah does and like find a deadline for me to actually start it.
And we'll book you on a podcast, and then you'll have
someone
to do
find
it,
a Vinland Saga podcast out there. I'm sure it exists. We also, as I mentioned at the top of the show, have the congressional candidate for Illinois' 9th congressional district, which I will say we have, I think, 3 members of the podcast live in that congressional district, or are voting in that congressional district. I'll make the announcement here as to who will be on that show, and it includes 2 of her potential future constituents, Kirsten Carey, who is, living in Japan at the moment, but is from and lives in that part of Chicago. We have Dr. Bentlin will also be on. She teaches there. I think the University of Illinois, I think. I might be wrong about that. But you could look her up, Dr. One Piece, usually wherever you find your social media. And we have golfer who is from Texas, which is kind of like Illinois. Anyway, please check out that podcast. It's out now on Patreon if you want to listen. It's just $5 a month, and you get that right now. Or you could listen to our interview with Kat on Thursday, anywhere you get your podcasts. I'm looking forward to a fun year of podcasting at the very least. Next week, we have Roger on the show for the first time in a while as well. And Dr. Bentlin will be coming on a proper episode soon, assuming we don't have a break in a couple weeks, which I'm sure we do. So look forward to all that. Joey, where can people find you, your work? Thank you so much for doing the art this week that you're currently drawing, I think. Where can people find you?
Thank you. Thanks for having me. You can follow me on Blue Sky, Joey Weiser, or Joey Weiser Comics on Instagram. And check out my graphic novels. The Littlest Fighter is the newest graphic novel. It's a kaiju inspired book that's great for all ages. And my previous 2 books are Dragon Racer and Ghost Hog, which are connected, but you can read them in any order you prefer. And I could check out, this spring I've got a ton of like convention and event appearances coming up. I don't have them offhand, but like starting in March, basically I'm going to be all over kind of the Southeast. So keep a lookout on my various social media for announcements about that. Thanks.
Sam, where can people find you?
They can find me on Blue Sky at LC Sam.
Steven, what about you?
I'm on Blue Sky at stephenpaul.bsky.social, and you can continue to read One Piece, Akane Banashi, and Kurumizawa's Folly. Those are all coming out on the Shonen Jump app and whatnot. You know where to find them. They're all cool.
Good. Steven only works on cool anime. Cool manga. Oh my God. Just lost all my credibility.
Some of them are anime.
Yeah, I mean, if they get to anime, then they're cool. That's kind of how it works.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yes,
that's how it goes.
The proof. That's the proof.
That's the proof. Okay, I'll remind you about that when something really shitty gets turned into an anime. No,
I did work on that. What was it called? Platinum End. The series by the Death Note guys, and it wasn't very good. And then they made an anime out of it, and people fucking hated that too. So I guess that is the counterproof too.
There's an exception to every rule.
Mm-hmm.
Also, big thanks to Isaiah Colbert for coming on the show. Please check them out at Shin Isaiah. I spelt not the way it's spelt. SHINEYEZEHUHH at bluesky.social. If you got that, great. If not, just look up Isaiah. I'm sure you'll find them. And you can find me, ZachLogan.com. As I mentioned before, I'm on Quest for the Best this past week talking about Orb. Please listen to that. I also, I haven't had a chance to talk to Steven about it. I also am trying. The thing I hate doing, considering I do a One Piece podcast, is trying to convince someone to read the series. I am not good at it. I will admit, But I think it helped that you translated also Akane Banashi. I think helped that look, Tristan, one of the co-hosts, had One Piece open at the end of the series saying, I'm starting to read it now. I have no way to check if there's been any accountability there, except with Miles, I guess. I could bug Miles about it. But Miles is busy with his own stuff. But hopefully Steven is the reason some new folks get into that. And Vinland Saga, I think I mentioned as well. So, as we said, good anime that Steven has good manga. Wow! I made the same mistake twice. I also forget to do this at the end of the episode we recorded for Cat. But our sign off, as usual, should be fuck ice.
Fuck ice, yeah.
Very important to mention, as they try and come into my localities as well. I've been consistent on this, so I do want to note that. I also want to note, you can follow us at One Piece Podcast anywhere you get your social media, anywhere you get your podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all the other ones. You could check us out on YouTube. Please do. YouTube.com/One Piece Podcast. Hit that like and subscribe button. And we don't have a phone number. Patreon.com I mentioned. I think that's everything. We'll see you next week with our review of with our recap of chapter 1174. My name is Zach. We'll see you next week, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.